Hey guys, while I was down there feeding my penguins, I thought maybe I'd tell you about a little project that I started. Um, Let me give you a little background. Freddie, will you cut that out? Jeez, where was I? Oh, yeah, I was trying to do some sandblasting last summer, and the air nozzle kept clogging up, and I couldn't figure out what it was, and then finally figured out it was water in the lines. And I thought I'd already had some traps set up, but apparently they weren't doing the job, so I got a couple more traps, see if that would work. I'll show you what I came up with. Okay, here we are back in the garage. I'll show you these little traps that I had. Here they are right now. These two are supposed to filter out the water. These are this pair here is supposed to, I think this one here is supposed to filter water, and this is supposed to dry it out more with something called a desiccant inside. And I got these set up, and neither one of them seemed to work. So I had to go to plan B, and I'll show you that in just a second. Okay, we're coming into the compressor room now. This is obviously the compressor. Now, before I came up with this little valve I have here, the way it was set up before, the tube would come directly out of the compressor and go down into a check valve and the regulator, and then it would go out over to the main garage where I have the lift and everything over there. Now this little thing I came up with allows me to direct the air out of this tube over into the cooler, which I'll show you later, and then from the cooler back into the compressor and back down into the tank. And right here, this is something called a one-way valve, and that's there to keep the air from flowing back into the cooler if I want the air to go directly into the tank and bypassing the cooler. And the reason I wanted to be able to do that is that when I didn't need to run my sandblaster, I wanted to run the air as I normally did, because I run it through an oiler, which is used to keep the impact wrenches and things like that lubricated. So that's the reason for that. Now I'll go on outside and I'll show you the dryer. Okay, what we have here is a transmission cooler out of a truck, and as you can see, try to get a little closer, that pipe coming out of the compressor is going into the top of the cooler. And also I've mounted a fan behind it. I don't know if you can see that too good. There's a fan behind it. And it goes and gets cooled and comes down here, goes out, comes down into another little device that I hooked up. It sort of acts like a tank, but it also cools the air and dries it out too. And this is something I put together with some PVC. So the air comes in one end, and the idea is that I've got all these T's in here, and they will drain off some of the moisture. It comes out of here, and as you can see, it winds around and goes back into the compressor room. So that's it, guys. What do you think of this?
That's all, folks.
All you guys that have been accusing me of having too much time on my hands, I guess you're feeling pretty silly right now, aren't you?